It ain't look good. Please. No. I was saying she ain't, but it sounded like that. You know, because I was saying she ain't looking good, but I cut it off in the she ain't looking good. Yeah, I'm taking any day.
Well, let's go to happy hour. Let's go.
All right, I'll meet you down there. Hey, I'm gonna call you. You probably come down there for
You know
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's Monday, April the 29th. Just a little bit of a different video today. Today's video is pretty much a maintenance video. I just got done mowing. Pretty much I'm going to go ahead and take these blades, as you'll see as the video progresses, take my blades off, resharpen them, and get them back on the mower so they're ready for the next day. So guys, let's get to it. Sit back. Hopefully you enjoyed this oddly satisfying video. You're gonna sound like you heard this before, but do you like my content? Do you like the channel? Do you find yourself returning to it, and haven't hit the subscription button yet? It's begging you to do it. It's free. How about if you like the content, that little thumbs up? It's free. So if you've been considering it, hey, I'm asking you to do it today. No better time to do it. So again, sit back, let me do the hard work, and I'll get back with you guys shortly. Explained it in a video a while back, but I pretty much use this ramp and I angle it on the side of my trailer. The lip actually bites right into the corner of the trailer, and it beats me using the lawnmower lift that I have. And reason being, on the lawnmower lift is more so made for the lawnmowers with the steering wheel on it, the tractors, if per se what you call them. And my zero turn is wider than the tractor to an extent, so when I used that ramp back in the lift back in the day, I would notice my front tires would get stuck, so I would have to wiggle them out pretty aggressively just to get them out of that groove, because the tires are just a little bit smaller and they'll fall right in that hole instead of laying in there perfectly. So I started using this ramp method. It's been fast, efficient for me, and I get under my deck without any problems. As you can see here, easy access to get to those blades and get them off, get them sharpened, and put back on. And this is pretty much my setup for sharpening my blades. Pretty much got a vise from Harbor Freight. The first vise I bought from Harbor Freight, I ended up putting too much pressure on it and it ended up breaking. So I went back and got a little bit bigger one. And my dad ended up making the rest of the setup, the wood and the hole that's down in the bucket with the cement. So everything you see here minus the vise is homemade design. Like I said, my dad made that. And it's been working perfect for me. Granted, it may not be the official setup as some people may view this and think, but hey, it's been working for me for the last going on 2 years now. So easy, quick setup, and store it in my barn just to keep it out of the weather. But that's my blade sharpening setup, guys. And as you see, I put the mask on. The reason being, if you look closely at the video, it was a little bit windy, and those particles that is coming from that grinder is definitely blowing back. Even when I turn, try to be upwind, you're still gonna get some flashback, and you don't really want to breathe in those particles or have them pretty much trying to hit too much of your skin. So I noticed that putting that mask on definitely helps with not breathing that stuff in. That's very yucky. You don't want to do that. And of course, I already have my glasses on, so just to keep that metal fragment from popping back in my eyes. So make sure when you're out sharpening your blades, you have some type of safety setup, just to protect yourself from that flying metal and to keep yourself from inhaling that dust and that little particles that you can't see with the naked eye from breathing that stuff in. So that's just a tip. So guys, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it, and I strongly encourage you to hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, because I'm dropping a video every week and I'm trying to get better and better at it, and hopefully it's attracting the audience that's gonna ride with me to the end. So let's wrap this video up by talking about one thing that I'm sure a lot of people don't pay attention to, and that is the user manuals on these pieces of equipment. The user manuals on these pieces of equipment. So this happened to me, matter of fact, this year, and well, it started, I might as well say, last season, that I started just doing the tire pressures on my own judgment. I was increasing or decreasing, either above or below the recommended setting for the mower. Well, come to find out, even though I was leaving a pretty good cut at the end of the mow, I could have always been doing a little bit better. And the reason I say that is because the tire pressures that are required, or pretty much not required, but suggested by Skaggs Manufacturing, is 25 psi in the front wheels and 8 psi in the back wheels, the drive wheels. And I was running mine pretty low in the front and pretty high in the back compared to what was actually called for. So a couple of mows ago, matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, on this coming Friday, which will be May the 3rd, I think, I noticed when I was cutting a commercial property, the mow just didn't look quite as even as it should have. So it bothered me a little bit. So I ended up double cutting it, just trying to neaten it up and got it looking good. It still looked great at the end. The end result was still great. But however, I was like, man, something just ain't right. So once I got done mowing, I got to the house and I sat down, looked at my user manual, and I realized, okay, the two front tires are supposed to be PSI'd at 25 PSI. When I checked mine with my tire gauge, I was running 10.3 in both. And I was like, man, that's a good little bit off. So I aired them up, got them both 25. And the back tires, I was actually running at around 12.5 or 13. And they only request 8 PSI. So I deflated them down to a little over 8. I ran them, matter of fact, on 9. The first time I actually started back paying attention to the manual, I ran them on 25 and 9. Still left a pretty great cut. So I think I'm going to stay right at that 9 range. I talked to another guy, matter of fact, and he was telling me about how he checks his tire pressures and what pressures he like to run his at. But I'm saying all this to say, guys, those tire pressures play a very important part on leaving a great cut, because the front and the back tires are all pressurized to make sure your deck is level to the actual ground. So let's just say, for instance, you put 40 pounds, and I'm exaggerating, but let's just say you put 40 pounds in your rear tires and you only have 7 or 8 pounds in your front tires. Well, common sense is going to probably say that is going to be a very ugly cut. So definitely want to pay attention to those pressures on those tires and take them from me as a learning lesson. You don't want to have one tire way off compared to the other ones, because it's definitely going to leave an ugly cut, and that's something that's going to be hard to go behind and mop up. And I'll leave off by saying this: the first time I realized I was having a leak in my tire, I was on one of my very favorite properties that requires a very lovely cut because it's in an HOA. Well, I got done mowing and I looked and I said, my deck is cutting a little too low on the left side. So when I got home, checked my tire pressure and realized I was way low on the left back tire compared to the right side. That's when I discovered I had a leak. So I went to the tire shop, got it taken care of, and I still at the time wasn't really paying attention to the tire pressures. I would just pump it up, literally pump it up, do the old squeeze test with your hand or kick it with your foot and say, okay, they're about even, and going on about my day. So guys, just pay attention to your user manuals. If you start having questions about things on your mower or any piece of equipment, because I'm going to speak just for myself, and I'm sure a lot of people will raise their hand and say they're guilty of it as well. Sometimes when we get those brand new pieces of equipment, the user manual and the receipt both go in one direction, and that's it. You just get to it, get to using a piece of equipment, and then when things start to go wrong, that's when you get in a scramble trying to find, the manual on how to actually do what's supposed to be done with that piece of equipment. But anyway, guys, just wanted to drop that out there. Make sure you use your user manuals if all else fails. If you're trying to do it yourself type deal, granted, if you take it to a shop, they're probably going to be, looking up the user manual or parts or anything that they may need anywhere in their computer system. So take it from me. Make sure you always have the proper air pressures in your tires for that even, beautiful cut on your properties, and you won't regret it. Be safe. This is Grant's Lawn Care. I'm checking out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one.